Hello, my name is Justin Pomeroy, and I thought I would just very quickly show how I got another AI tool to run, and show my current setup. So I'm running on a Linux-based machine right now, and I'm remoting into a Windows machine that has a video card that uh, has my actual AI running. So here's what I've got. So I went ahead and I went to the Fabric GitHub. So I got Fabric running. But this is, and then I have my own open-webui install. So over here on my Windows machine, I've got ollama. I've got ollama running. So that's the backbone for it. Open-webui gives me the nice interface. And then I now installed Fabric. So here is my Docker Compose file. This brings them all together into the same network inside Docker so that they can all talk to each other. There are some key elements here like the environment, ollama origins, and ollama host that allow it to talk to outside entities. Without those, it kind of likes to stay contained, and which is better for security, but you can manage it other than just locking it down. Also here I have the necessary entries for the Docker Compose file to tell ollama to use my video card. And then open-webui, here I just changed port to port 3000, which yeah, I don't like to use port 8080 for absolutely everything. You can't. So you gotta switch the ports up sometimes. Here I set some keys so I can try and use my API. I'm not too worried about it because right now it's only accessible internally. Fabric, here's where I added Fabric. So Fabric, if you look at the documentation on this, he has the Docker run commands. So I translated those over to Docker Compose, but one of the key points here was the command that's run is just Fabric, and I'll show you where that is. Not internal. Yeah, there we go. So in the Docker file, this is built expose 8080. That's what it runs on, right? But there's the entry point. So the entry point is Fabric. So here I change the entry point to bin.sh. So it's just running a shell. And then I'm telling it to add on to just running the shell, tell it to run an argument to run the command fabric serve, which is what the Docker run that he has exampled here. It's basically going to run the same thing. It's just going to run serve, and the actual command that it's running isn't shown here because that's its entry point. It just does that by default. So that's how it works, right? So I'm just laying that out. And I'm going to change the port to 8910 just because I don't want everything on the same thing. And then I've got my network configuration and my volumes. So that's the Docker file, or sorry, the Docker Compose file that I'm using. And here you can see it is actively running. So what we can do now is I can go into the Fabric container. I can go to execute. I'll just start over there. So because we went straight to running the API server, or I did anyways, you'll have to go in and go fabric setup, right? And this setup, I've already done this, so it's going to look a little bit different. But basically it starts out by asking, hey, what AI vendor do you want to use? So I put in 20, which at the time, it's got extra options up here now because I already set it up. But 20 at the time was Ollama. So I'll go ahead and do 27. Here you can see it's usually localhost, but because I'm running it in a Docker Compose environment and a Docker container, like instead of just running it natively, it's looking for localhost instead of whatever the container name is. So my container name, as you can see here, I changed it to Ollama 11434. So I'm just going to leave that default in my API key. Ollama doesn't require one. HTTP timeout, I just leave the default. And it kind of skips over the model that I wanted to use. But let's see, that's here as additional options. So I'll go ahead and do one. So now it asks the models that I want to use. And since it's actually communicating with my container, my Ollama container, so now it has options for what I want to use. I kind of like the Ollama option because it seems to be very small, 7B, fairly quick and pretty no nonsense and pretty decently capable. So, and then I just leave the default context length. So, and that's it. Now we can do something like, I'm just going to pipe a question over to it. What's the air velocity of an unladen swallow? Fabric. And I'm just running a 4060, I think, video card. Hey, look at there. And it's fairly quick. So that's just, that's how I got this tool running. And I can have it running in conjunction with my other tools. So that's something I really like. All right.